Hey, it's Dave Jackson. Today, I'm going to help you move your RSS feed and not lose your audience. Hey, it's Dave Jackson from the School of Podcasting.com, where I help you massage your message. I help you tackle the technology, face your fears, and flatten that learning curve and get you going on the right path to podcasting. And today, we're going to talk about moving your feed. Now, first things first, this is something you shouldn't be doing like, whatever, I'll just move my feed, because you have a potential to lose your audience. And that's what I'm going to show you. If you don't do this right, you can really shoot yourself in the foot. So that's what I'm going to help you do, not shoot yourself in the foot. Let's get me off the screen. All right, here you are. You have your podcast and you want to submit it to Apple iTunes. And so you've got that. And now what happens is you have somebody comes into their app and they do a search for your show and they like it and they subscribe to it. Now, when you do that, that connects them directly to your RSS feed. So let's say you're using Libsyn or whatever you're using for your RSS feed. Now, when you put out a new episode, it automatically goes to the app and your audience automatically gets it. That's what's so great about subscribers. They get it almost instantly. So then what happens is, let's go to the next slide here. Apple is still looking at your RSS feed, and Apple, again, is kind of like a phone book. So anybody that comes to you will say, hey, they're right over there. And that's what happens. Another person subscribes and another person subscribes and another person, and you get the idea. You have all these people that are now directly connected to your RSS feed. And for whatever reason, maybe you're using a crappy media host, or for whatever reason, you want a new way to deliver your RSS. So you get a new RSS feed. And what I see people doing, and this is where you can really shoot yourself in the foot, is they will say, oh yeah, just go into Apple Podcasts and change it. That is a horrible idea. And let me explain why now. Because it seems to make sense, right? You just change Apple and that's no longer looking at your feed. And hey, somebody else comes along and they like your show. They subscribe. Apple gets out of the way. It's all good. Now look at this screen, because this is where people will do this and they'll go, it's weird. I switched to this other media host, or I changed something in my feed and my numbers just plummeted. Well, here's why. Your old audience is still looking at your old system. They never got the message that you moved. And so the advice of, oh, just change it in Apple, horrible advice. In fact, typically don't mess with anything in podcastconnect.apple.com, especially with your feed. Check your stats, things like that. Do not change your feed ever unless it's a last resort in podcastconnect.apple.com. So Dave, how do you do this the proper way? And this is why when you choose a media host, you want somebody who will do this thing, and here's the geeky phrase, a 301 redirect. Because what that is in English, it's a change of address form. Because remember, one of the things that is looking at your RSS feed, your podcast, is Apple. And so when you put in this 301 redirect, not only will your audience redirect, but so will Apple. And for the record, I know there's more to it than that. You have to put in a new feed code. Let's not go that deep into the woods. But basically, you put in a change of address kind of form known as a 301 redirect. So then what happens is everybody, your apps fire up, iTunes fires up, everybody says it, and they see this, hey, we moved over there, which sounds great. And then everybody's apps, including Apple Podcasts, will look at the new feed, and basically your audience comes with you. So if you're using a media host that won't do a 301 redirect, we hate those people, Podomatic, because they hold your audience hostage. So do not change things in Apple Podcast Connect. That's not the place to do that. If you saw my previous video, we talked about how Apple iTunes is just a mirror. You don't change anything there. And when you do the 301 redirect, you don't lose your audience. If you need help with this, contact me. I'm out at schoolofpodcasting.com. I would gladly walk you through changing whatever it is you're changing so you don't lose your audience. Thanks so much for watching. Click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.